Hello, everyone, and you're very welcome to the Man United Agenda. As we all know, during the course of today, there has been a major meltdown on Twitter over possible takeover rumours. But before we get to all that, we at the Man United Agenda would like to congratulate the Man United women in their first ever Champions League game, winning 1-0 against Valorgorana. So fair play to them, and Maya Letizia scored the winning penalty. So I think it was just important to mention our women's team because they're the only ones that are representing us in Europe this year.
Rebel. You are right though. But yeah, congratulations. You know I'm not a women's football watcher, so I'm glad you told me that because I wouldn't have had a clue, mate.
No worries. Just a big hello to Jarl, to Stephanie Griffith, to Solo, Patrick Pillow, Bilal, and of course, I himself, Tony Lee. You're all very welcome. So, Mr. B, obviously, while we were at work, there was murmurings, there was whispers, there was all sorts of communication going on the Tinterweb regarding a post from the Saudi Minister for Sport yesterday.
Right,
and
so it was his post that started the whole thing, or did he jump on afterwards or partway through? It was his one was the initial.
It looks like his was the catalyst for all the talk that we had today.
So come on then, what did he say, Rebel?
Well, he suggested that investment or partial minority sale was coming to Manchester United yesterday. Now, before we get into his clarification tweet, which he released 2 hours ago, I'm going to go across a couple of the tabloids. I'm going to hit these really quick, and then we're going to have a chat about them before we go to our Saudi minister. So first up, consortium based in the UAE is understood to be considering making an offer for the Glazer family to buy Manchester United, and have already approached some ex-United players about coming on board. That's from Chris Wheeler in the Daily Mail. The Star. The Glazers are open to selling their stake in Manchester United for offers exceeding $5 billion. That's according to Crossy in the Star. Ben Jacobs is saying there's a mystery investor for Manchester United. It's not from Saudi Arabia. There are also denials from the Qatar side. United sources are in the dark, and they deny that anything is advanced or close. However, there could potentially be the possibilities that the Glazers are independently seeking to speak to investors. And then Simon Stone saying Manchester United sources have rejected claims made by Tuki Al-Sari. Apologies if I've made a bollocks of that. He's the Saudi sports minister. That the club is advanced in negotiations over sale to a new investor. Now, what they have achieved today, though, is a change in share price.
Okay, so what's the? Come on, I know you. Yeah, that's what I like. What you got, Rebel?
So over the course of today, they've got 1.4% of an increase in the share value. So obviously, I'd imagine shareholders would be delighted if this kind of strung on for a week or two, because it's a far cry from the share price of $33 per share that Sir Jim Ratcliffe paid for us just over a year and a half ago, isn't it? Approximately. Actually, it's nearly 2 years ago now at this stage. But obviously, this is benefiting shareholders. And I'd imagine there might be talk of investment. Project Stadium is obviously sitting there in the background. God only knows when it's coming. But, Mr. B, it seems to be that when any little drip of a nugget of a possibility of something happening at United comes out, we seem to get front page or back page headline news.
Yeah, I say it's an international break. It's going to be worse next season when the international break goes on for 3 weeks. They'll be bringing up more nonsense, is what I'll call it at the moment, Rebel. I'm with Bilal. Spin, spin, spin. Whether it's spin or not, the fact that one tweet sent the whole fan base into meltdown is crazy. A lot of things need to be done first, I suppose. As you know, as you do, once you hear the news, you listen to a few of your more trusted YouTubers. I don't really listen to normal TV, so I was never going to find it on there. But there seems to be a lot of things that need to be done. You know, the stock exchange need to be obviously advised as to what's going on. Maybe once the deal is fully completed, not necessarily while talks are going on. But
I think, Mr. B, just to clarify, there would be a requirement by Manchester United to declare if anything is happening on foot of the rumours now, because if they don't and it causes an artificial share spike, they could actually be found in a spot of bother with the stock exchange and subject to fines and whatnot. So obviously they can't afford to just let it spin on without challenging it, especially if it's false.
I mean, look, I'm not going to say nothing's going on, but I'm very, very skeptical. Rebel. I know Mr. Solo for years before when he came in was saying to me that something's going to be happening, something's going to be happening, and I kind of poo-pooed it. Whether or not he's right, whether he's wrong, we'll find out. I'm just skeptical at the moment, Rebel. I know, we've got the stadium that they haven't even started building on yet. So I know everything is geared towards that side of things. I don't see it, Rebel. I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
Yeah, I suppose let's get to the important tweet from the man himself. This is 2 hours ago. Obviously, let's understand that English is not his first language, so let's forgive his grammar. But yesterday's post about Manchester United's potential sale meant one thing: the club is in advanced negotiation phase with a new investor. Just to clarify, I am not the investor, nor are they from my nation. I'm posting this as a fan who wishes the deal to happen, though it might not necessarily happen.
He wants it to happen, but it might not happen. I see. It's these kind of things. It might happen. It might not necessarily. I mean, he's covering his backside now, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's putting it down there. Now he's covering his ass. Oh, look, the Rebel. I mean, how much followers has he gained? You know.
Well, he had 7.5 million before that.
Okay then. Okay, well, maybe I'll take it back. I wasn't going to say he was a nobody, but I don't see it, Rebel. I don't see it, because if they're coming in and invest, whose shares are they going to be taking? Are they just going in for naming rights of an invisible stadium? They're not stupid. They're not going to do that. So, whose shares are they taking? They're not taking Ratcliffe's. And
yeah.
It's all about my head. We're just reporting as it goes. I can't say I've deep dived into anything. I'm not that kind of guy, as you probably know already. So we'll just have to see how this one plays out, Rebel.
Yeah, I suppose the kind of question that I had in my head yesterday when I heard the initial news was, okay, what's being offered? What type of return are they being guaranteed? Because investors, especially minority investors, aren't going to prop up a majority shareholder, invest all their money while the majority shareholder is risk-free without a guaranteed return. That's just bad business. Like, no businessman, regardless of how much they love a club, is in it to flush money down the toilet. Now, I know sports washing and all the rest of it, and that's a conversation of a different ilk, but if you're a minority shareholder, you have to be in it for something. And there have to be some sort of a guaranteed return. We've heard rumors about naming rights to the stadium, possibly replacement on the jerseys sponsor once the current deal ends. We've heard all these sort of kind of carrots that could potentially be offered. But look, I suppose we have to take it with a pinch of salt. This guy obviously is in circles where he's connected to people with money. And I suppose you have to respect his comment. But as United fans, we probably have to be realistic and say any money that's coming in is probably basically to keep us afloat and to possibly kickstart Project Stadium. So I don't think there's too much more we can say on the rumours. Before we go to our main story tonight, though, and spoiler alert, it's around one Harry Maguire. I suppose we ought to take a few comments. Johnny Hill talking about the Saudi minister. He's very big in boxing and everything like that. Seems to be a figurehead and got WWE and Saudi to work together. I would hope a guy like that doesn't post speculation. Well, that kind of supports his position in as a Saudi sports minister. So, as they say, he seems to come from a position of respect, but we'll have to wait and see. Any other comments there that tickle your fancy, Mr. B?
No, they were just, sorry, not to be rude, but they were kind of waffling. The ones that I put up on screen are the ones that we needed to show. So on to the next one.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to delay it slightly. This one is going to be just a 30-second mention. We could be subjected to yet another Winter World Cup. It's nearly 10 years down the line. But the 2034 World Cup, they are open to having it in the winter, and they are open to allowing it to dribble into 2035. So you could have 3 or 4 weeks around the Christmas period where leagues will be suspended and international football tournaments will be taking place.
Obviously, it's money orientated. It's already something that's been decided, and if they put it out 12 years early, then you know they need to. So it is what it is. It is what it is, Rebel. You know, it's football's to say football's gone mad. Maybe it has, but that's definitely money orientated, that move there.
Absolutely. I see your comment, Bilal. I can't repeat it though. But let's get to the main story. One for Fabrizio Romano. This was about 4 hours ago. Manchester United are in talks with Harry Maguire over a new deal with existing contract due to expire in June. Face-to-face meeting held with his camp in the recent days and will follow to discuss conditions. MUFC happy with Maguire's contribution and leadership. So now we do know why Yav is missing from the channel. He's been over at Old Trafford, whispering in Jim's ear, looking for a bag for his boy.
Look, there's gonna be one person on the channel who's gonna be absolutely delighted with that news. A couple of things do come to mind. One, he's on 190 grand a week. So if he's going to be a bit part player, which he is, let's be honest now, De Ligt's now taken his first team spot, and Euro and whoever else I would like to mention to go ahead of him. So it's probably maybe fifth choice. Are they going to be doing a Henderson where he's in there just for the ambiance? Yes, he does have leadership qualities in regards to determination. I'm not paying somebody 100 grand though just to be a cheerleader and a hype man on game day. I'm not sure how much he wants or how long the contract will be going on for. I don't understand why they would be talking about renewing Harry Maguire's contract. We've seen it done. How old's Harry Maguire going to be at the end of this season? 32, 33? His legs have always been gone. Oh, so he can win headers. Oh, we get somebody who can win headers. Surely there's somebody out there who can head the ball like Harry Maguire. if that's what they want from him. So I'm not really feeling the new contract. I would rather he was ties were severed and he can go and look for a new club in the summer.
Yeah, we deserve better. Is no too happy about this. Does the club not have any ambition? A new bleeping contract?
There you go. I mean, you've kept quiet, Rebel. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm looking at it from the whole squad perspective. Obviously, the jury's out on Cine the man until we see a couple of games and consistency and all the rest of it as to whether he's a number one or number two. We'll know that by the end of the year. We know we're fairly set in terms of the transfer window next year in terms of the forward three. There's going to be no incomings there. And if they are, they're probably going to be kids that are, possibilities to be featured in the future. I'm thinking that they're looking at this from the perspective of if we can keep Euro, Martinez, and De Ligt fit and well, they're our first team centre backs.
Mazraoui, Evan.
Mazraoui in heaven as well. And they're probably thinking if we keep Mads for another year or two, we can completely focus on midfield next year. And I
said that. I think that's what they were going to do anyway. I kind of did say that. But yeah.
Your mic's a bit low there, Mr. B.
Sorry, I did say that before, Rebel, to be fair. I've been saying that. I think we're going to focus on central midfield. We need to anyway, but with the outgoings that we've got, I think that's a position that they're going to have to go with.
Yeah. No, if he's coming in and he's taking a pay cut to 120, 130 grand a week, it's probably not the worst thing in the world just to ignore centre back for another year.
So you would keep him, yeah? You would keep him.
From the perspective of if it means that we can go after two top quality centre mids, then yeah. Because
maximum paying, maximum you want to be paying.
Maximum's 150. Anything more than
How
that.
Much?
Max.
How much?
150 max.
For 2 years.
150k a week?
Oh, Rebel, that's too much money for a big part player, man. Come on. I'm not being funny. I was thinking under 100 grand. He's not an international. He's not first choice. He's not captain. He's not club captain because he's in the group. 150 grand, Rebel. Jesus Christ, no, man. 95 grand. Start at 70 and top off at 95. So he's under 100 grand. There's no chance, bro.
Yeah. Well, I suppose at the end of the day, it's probably going to come down to whether it makes sense in terms of the investment. We know we have a problem on the wing backs, and we know we have a problem in central midfield.
We got a problem with our manager. Fuck's sake. You know what I mean?
Well, I think after yesterday, we probably figured out that nothing's going to happen there until I wish we started 20 chat sports, but I think man would probably laugh at us. But look, Mr. B, I suppose when we look at our squad, Casimir's gone next year, more than likely.
Yeah.
Bruno, if you're to believe some of the ITKs, is 50-50 out the door. That leaves us with Cobby, who's going to be PO'd by the time we get to the end of the season because he ain't getting bare minutes.
If he's still with us at the end of the season, January is going to be an absolute madness. So
that leaves us with 0 midfielders, technically.
Oh, okay. And no problem. So those 0 experience have exactly how much Premier League experience? Jesus Christ. Yeah, look, they're going to have to put for midfield. I think they're going to do something in January.
Well, if you're to believe the people that are writing for the Brighton fan accounts, they think that Baliba's head's completely twisted and that he's left the building. So Brighton's hopes of kind of getting a better value for him next year have been damaged by the fact that this summer's debacle has probably affected his performances. So instead of gaining value, he might actually lower in value.
Yeah, but they'll be honest, they know what his ceiling could be. the fact that he's had 3 months of bad football, well, September to will be December. I don't see his value maybe, falling off more than maybe 10, 15 million. So if they were asking for 100, they're still going to want 70 million. Are United willing to do that in January? Because, come the news to come just summer, we're not going to be the only ones in for him, let's be honest. So whatever deal they get done, whether it's Wharton, who they're sniffing around, I know Palace are trying to offer him a new contract, whether it's Anderson, whether it's Baleba. I mean, look, can you imagine if they went out there and got all three? We live in dreamland, but, they've all got different characteristics, but those are the three that seem to be on the radar at the moment. I mean, the fact that Big Andrew's gone in there and has destroyed Forest, maybe that will piss off Anderson a little bit. Obviously, I know he's been linked to Newcastle as well, but he could be pissed off that they sold him and doesn't want to go back. Is he a Geordie boy?
Anderson, I'm not sure what his heritage is. Let me just have a quick look. But while I'm doing that, Mark Gahey of Sunderland or Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Apparently, Manchester United, according to some of the lesser-known tabloids, are sniffing around trying to get him in January on a Bosman.
I don't see how, if Liverpool have already come in for him, that groundwork's been done. You're talking maybe 90% of that deal has been done. They say to him, no problem, we'll offer you another 20 million to sign and you're down for what you had. That won't be an issue. There's no chance we're getting Gahey.
Tynan Weir, by the way, Newcastle.
There you go. Then he'll go back to Newcastle. That's not even a situation with Anderson. So it's really it's really Wharton over Labour that they have to get in January.
Yeah. Well, I suppose transfer rumours and all that, they're a bit down the road. The 350 odd million in transfer debt that we're in, the highest of any European club, is probably going to be
Is this? Has it gone? I know that has it gone down from last season, Rebel? Has it gone up? Do you know? Maybe I should have.
Given the payment, given that we probably brought it down by the payment that we'd have made, but then with all the 5-year agreements that we've had for Seshko and Bumo and Cunha, it's probably either returned to or gotten above where it was coming into last summer. So I suppose the only thing is, though, if we start getting those big wages off the books permanently, that's obviously going to cause a positive for Manchester United, obviously, because they're looking to keep their wages below.
I get it.
250,000 now at this stage.
I reckon they'll probably push to get it under 200,000. To be fair, maybe a marquee one will go in, but it would have to be the Dogs. You know what I mean? He would have to be the Dogs bees, mate, for him to come in on 250. I think they're pushing everybody, but definitely under 200. I mean, I get what they're doing. I understand it, and I get that. It wasn't going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen overnight. Financially changing stuff, but I just wanted to know if it did decrease from what it was.
I think this is a good one to finish on. This to be Barker's asked it. Have Manchester United lost credibility in the market in the last few seasons?
No, shut up.
No, but let's look at what we've done in terms of sales. The only person that we made a proper profit on was Garnacho to Chelsea.
Yeah.
We've done loan deals. We sold people for fractions of a million that went for 50 odd million to Real Madrid the season after. We've done so many poor decisions. We've given crazy contracts. Now, obviously, they're trying to address them in the last 2 years. But when you look at the last decade, we spent over $1 billion. And look at that squad.
Yeah. Rebel, I get that. But see what you need to understand. Those were stuff you've got to do it for 2 years. You can't do it from before Ratcliffe came in. I understand we've been shit, but then if Ratcliffe comes in the next 7 years are better and improved, then people are still going to be saying, well, for the last 15 years, United's been run like this. There has to be some sort of cut-off point where we decide, okay, then I understand he's still in bed with the Glazers. I get it. So I'm just saying, on the whole, I don't think you can really say, it's 8 years. It's 8 years. He's been in for 2. He's caused a madness. Now he's still causing the madness. Every time he opens his mouth, the whole world's listening. So he has to be careful on what he says. Obviously we spoke about the 3-year yesterday. That still hasn't simmered down. I know there's a lot of people still up in arms about that decision. So whatever he says, whatever he talks about, as I said, people are going to be listening to. So he has to really, really be careful in what he's doing and what he's saying,
I suppose, Mr. B, as fans of the club, we would like to be in a position where we have our targets lined up coming into the summer window. And over the course of maybe the first 6 weeks, we're getting 80 to 90% of those across the line. This year, we got Cunha in out of nowhere. Surprised us all. Brilliant. Fantastic. But then we spent the next, 6-7 weeks messing around on the Mbumo deal.
Sorry, Rebel. I was just the last part of it. I was just trying to see if there's any more comments to post up. Sorry, just repeat that last bit for me.
I was just saying that ideally we'd like to see our business kind of lined up at the start of the transfer window, and then obviously maybe a couple of special cases at the end if if you have the room to do it.
Rebel, every summer's the same, and every summer we get ourselves mad. This season they did okay, and we were still pissed in that 8-week period where Bruno didn't do anything. So, we all have our dreams, we all have our hopes. Look at Liverpool; they got all of their players in, spent all of their money early. They're in the sherbet at the moment, man.
Yeah.
So when they come in, So go on.
Could you argue though that when they knew that they were in a bit of bother with the Mbumo deal and it was going to take time? Now there's all sorts of rumors about financial purposes and all the rest of it. That it could be looking to complete the likes of the Sene Lamine deal, so that wasn't hanging over our heads coming into transfer deadline day. That they could have been looking, if they were really interested in getting a striker, at moving that Sesko deal along early doors or targeting
You got to remember with the Sesko deal, Arsenal really had the upper hand in that, didn't it? We had to take, because if Sesko had gone Arsenal, we would have got Gyökeres. So I think in that maybe that specific instance there, I think we didn't really have the power to do things. What I have heard though, from a couple of people, you just listen, is that we wanted Sesko last season. Sesko was our first choice last season, and because we didn't get him, we got Xerxes. Now Xerxes hasn't kicked. Xerxes played 82 minutes of Premier League football. So I would assume that he's gone in January. West Ham apparently have been linked with him. Do you think that would be a good move for him? Good move for West Ham.
If he wants to stay in the Premier League, absolutely. Yeah. West Ham obviously have Nuno in charge of him, and he's probably going to ball into Nuno. Let's be fair about it.
Counter attack. Well, look, everybody who seems to be leaving seems to be balling. We just don't have the games to play these players who are really fringe players. I put Mainu in that kind of category as well.
By the way, just to finish, Rasmus Højlund, -9 as you called him, he scored again in international football tonight.
Who are they playing?
Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves there in the comments while I'm looking for it.
Xerxes and Bremo's back. Oh, yeah, and Bremo's going African Cup of Nations. Yes, we deserve better. So he's going to have to see. Well, he's going to have to give him some sort of game time before that. Then if that's what he's looking to do, yeah, you could be right there. He has 2 fans saying he's got 2.
Oh, there you go. So, like, at the end of the day, he seems to be benefiting now from the confidence that having a Kevin De Bruyne sitting behind him does. A job that we'd have expected Bruno Fernandes to be doing, supplying his striker.
You know, I'm not.
You're Mikey in, yeah.
So yeah, I'm not into all of this. He was shit. Let's
It's
not.
Belarus, by the way.
He scored a goal against Belarus. So he scored 10 goals, Italian league, where he can run and he's stronger than everybody else, and he scored 2 goals against Belarus. I don't have time for him. I'm never gonna accept that he's a decent striker. We saw him for 2 years, bro.
Dorgu scored well, by the way.
Dorgu. Oh, there you go. Oh, Belarus are great then if Dorgu scored.
Brilliant.
Oh God.
And I suppose just to finish up on, we deserve better. His grand could score a hat in Italy. But
there you go.
We have gone on for 30 minutes. This has been a shorter version of the United Agenda. Obviously, we are going to be debuting a new show next week. The plan was to do it for this week, but we really want to put our best arguments forward. So we're letting it develop for another week and let it simmer. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. And obviously, if you're new here, hit that free subscribe button. And when we get to 4K, one of you is getting a jersey. And for tonight and for this week, I've been Rebel. Mr. B will be back
tomorrow. This week, what day is it today?
Thursday. You're back tomorrow with the Premier League mix on a Friday night.
Yeah, Patrick will be on tomorrow. You know, when you're for 30 minutes, yeah. Yeah. Are you taking the peas? Well, look, in 30 minutes is long for some people, man.
Yeah. Well, just bear in mind, Bilal, or not Bilal, we deserve better, that if we were to present tonight's show to a teenager of 13 years or younger, we'd have to break it down into about 10 to 15 3-minute TikToks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I tell you, I can't. I'm glad I'm not, wishing my life away, but I'm glad in 20 years or 30 years I'm going to be dead, because there's going to be nothing. I mean, everything is so now. They've got no concentration span. So,
And on that bombshell, good night.